The Royal Thai government extends its fullest support for the development of Sri Lanka's agriculture, fisheries and education sectors. The government said that Sri Lanka is ahead of Western countries in implementing the law against ex-terrorist suspects. Sri Lanka excels in an international dancing contest held with the participation of 99 countries. The Institution of Fundamental Studies in Kandy said that the country cannot take recent tremors lightly. Russia is to protest against national interference in Syria.
Well, that's a look at headlines, and taking a look at news in detail now. The Royal Thai government has pledged to extend its fullest support to develop Sri Lanka's agriculture, fisheries and education sectors. This pledge was given by the Thai Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra when she held bilateral talks of mutual interest with visiting Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa. This report has been filed by ru10 Special Correspondent Mohan Karunaratne from Bangkok. Sri Lankan and Thai heads of states met this morning, turning a new page in long-standing friendship between the two countries. Thai Premier Yingluck Shinawatra warmly greeted President Mahinda Rajapaksa at the Thai Prime Minister's office. The President placed his signature on the autograph kept for royal guests on an invitation extended by the Premier. Bilateral talks between the two leaders were very important for Sri Lanka. At the inception of the talks, the Thai Prime Minister noted that Sri Lanka is an exceptional country and it is one of her favourite countries. Praising the Sri Lankan government's program of uplifting the country's restoring peace, she pledged to extend the maximum support to develop the island nation. President Rajapaksa extended his gratitude along with tributes of his government and the people for the assistance extended by the government of Thailand to Sri Lanka at the Geneva Human Rights Council sessions. They held a lengthy discussion on expanding economic cooperation between the two countries. The two leaders exchanged views on expanding the trade up to $500 million, stressing the importance of taking joint efforts with the private sector. The Thai Prime Minister said that a joint committee will be appointed towards this end. The President pointed out that there was a wide possibility of improving trade in gems and jewellery. He thanked the Thai government for providing higher educational scholarships for Sri Lanka. The Thai Premier said that a Thai-Sri Lanka joint committee will be convened soon to find ways and means to improve agriculture and the fisheries sector. She said that she will direct her country's private sector towards investing in Sri Lanka's construction field. The Sri Lankan President urged her to extend her country's support towards improving tourism industry in the island. Thai Prime Minister Shinawatra stressed the importance of working in close collaboration to build solidarity in the region. They also exchanged views in appointing a special committee soon to organize the 260th Bhikkhu Organization ceremony jointly by Sri Lanka and Thailand on a grand scale.
ශ්‍රී ලංකාව සහ තායිලන්තයේ එක්ව 260 වන උපසම්පදා සැමරුම් උළෙලක් ඉතා ඉහළ මට්ටමින් සංවිධානය කිරීම වැදගත් බව මෙහිදී සාකච්ඡාවට ලක් වුණා. ඒ සඳහා විශේෂ කමිටුවක් කඩිනමින් පත් කිරීමටද රාජ්‍ය නායකයන් දෙපළ අතර අදහස් කුමාරු කර ගැනුණා. දෙරටේ විදේශ
Well, a memorandum of understanding on bilateral political consultation and exchanging of instruments of ratification for the treaty between Thailand and Sri Lanka on mutual legal assistance in criminal matters was signed today by the Thai Foreign Minister Surapong Kitchen Chaikul and the Sri Lankan Ambassador in Thailand, General Shantakot Tegoda.
Meanwhile, the government said that it is implementing, the government said that it is implementing a proper legal process against former terrorist suspects. Not a single suspect is being detained unnecessarily. The government claimed that Sri Lanka is ahead of Western countries in implementing the law against ex-terrorist suspects.
The apprehension of suspects in a war against terror is a natural action being adopted by any country in the world. Human rights activists criticized the United States for detaining inmates at Guantanamo Bay Detention Center. U.S. sources said that 169 detainees were still in custody at the camp without filing charges against them. In the meantime, the United States has made a request from Sri Lankan government to take prompt action with regard to ex-LTTE suspects.
These allegations that the army should be removed from the north, that these LTT terrorists who are suspected or under rehabilitation are kept in the custody illegally, are made by the very same people who did not utter a word or murmur when there was atrocities committed by LTT against civilians. Now when there is total peace and there is law and order to a much greater extent than ever before, at least during the terrorist period, these allegations are made. But what about what is happening in the West? If you look at America is keeping their prisoners whom they suspect of terrorist activities away from their own jurisdiction in Cuba, in Guantanamo Bay, because they know that they cannot even keep those people for a single day in American custody. But the ironical thing is that all these allegations are made against us, who are now having a very few, having released bulk of them, and including all those child soldiers who were in LTT custody, and those who are now presently in custody are those who are kept according to the law.
Meanwhile, over 10,000 former Tiger cadres who were arrested by the army had been institutionalized after rehabilitation. Minister Nima Siripal de Silva said that a proper legal process is being followed against other ex-members of the LTTE. He added that there was a certain delay in hearing cases connected not only to former LTTE suspects but also to others involved in crimes. These suspects cannot be released if they are involved in serious crimes and those who were with criminal charges. He noted that necessary action should be taken by considering the threats to national security and other social issues.
Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that the only Tamil National Alliance is demanding the removal of army camps in the north, but not the civilians in the area. He noted that the Tamil Alliance, which is deprived of true people's power in the north, is making such demands as they cannot tolerate the friendly relations between civilians and the army. A large number of army camps are located in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa districts, exceeding the number of camps in Kilinochchi and Vavuniya districts. The Defence Secretary pointed out that the people in these districts were not demanding the removal of army camps. The economy in these provinces has been strengthened due to the efforts of the soldiers in the camps. All the requirements of vegetables and fish for the army are supplied by the people in the north. He noted that political organizations were in fear in the face of the development taking place in the north. Army camps were set up at fixed places. The Defence Secretary pointed out that certain countries which have set up their army camps in other countries were demanding Sri Lanka to remove camps. The Tamil National Alliance is now distancing from the people. People who are leading peaceful lives in the north were not demanding Elam. The Defence Secretary points out that they need to live as human beings with true freedom. The National Freedom Front says that no country has the right to intervene into activities of sovereign country like Sri Lanka. The National Freedom Front steering addressing a media conference in Colombo today, the committee member Piyasiri Wijayanayake made this observation on the statement made by the British High Commissioner in Sri Lanka on the removal of army camps in the north. He said that Sri Lanka is not a British colony. It is an independent sovereign state. The British High Commissioner has no right to criticize the Sri Lankan government policy and the government's process. No country in the world, including Britain and United States, have the right to control Sri Lankan army and to interfere into the defence affairs, he said. You're watching the news on ru10. Stay with us. We'll be back after a break.
Welcome back. The visiting Singapore Foreign Minister K. Shanmugam called on his Sri Lankan counterpart Professor G. Peiris at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Colombo today. The aim of Minister Shanmugam Com's official tour of Sri Lanka is to further improve friendly ties between the two countries. He is scheduled to meet local businessmen to hold discussions with them. He is expected to improve trade investment ties with Sri Lanka and to promote relations in the field of education. The Singapore Foreign Minister will visit north and east provinces during his stay in the island. President Mahinda Rajapaksa's recent tour of Singapore has helped to further strengthen the friendly ties between the two countries.
The dancing troupe, headed by veteran dancer Channa Vijayawardena, received the award for the excellent dancing troupe among 99 countries. The international dancing competition was held in Berlin, Germany recently. The award-winning dancing troupe of Channa Vijayawardena returned to the island this morning. All contestants were given an opportunity to present a 90-second dancing item at the Berlin International Competition. Over 5,000 dancers of 99 countries participated in the contest. 10 super dancers, including Channa Vijayawardena, represented Sri Lanka. He is a leading artist in the country. His traditional dancing and new creations depict the Sri Lankan identity.
The Geological Survey and Mines Bureau said that the recent earth tremors occurred in Sri Lanka were not amounting to disaster proportions, but the Institute of Fundamental Studies CANDI said that it cannot be taken lightly. Scientists believe that about 100 billion years ago, the earth was created with a cloud of coal dust particles swirling through empty space after the great explosion of the universe. Although the surface of the earth is cold, the inner cluster of the earth is burning at the moment. At the very center of the core, the temperature is about 8,000 degrees Celsius, not much less than the temperature of the surface of the sun. The earth crust and the upper mantle are composed of several large, thin, relatively rigid plates that move relative to one another. The plates are all moving in different directions and different speeds. Sometimes the plates crash together, pull apart or subside each other. When this happens, it commonly results in earthquakes. Sri Lanka had faced a situation of earth tremor due to an earthquake in Sumatra in 2004. Earthquakes were occurring in slow pace. Its final result is massive earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. Earthquakes are being reported in the world at every moment. This indicates the change in Earth and universe. Scientists were of the view that Sri Lanka is not located in a geoplate border, but the island nation will have to face the threat of tremors in the event of an earthquake in neighboring India. They noted that it is essential to consider the threat of future earthquakes in the country when taking into an account of the occurrence of 2 earth tremors in Sri Lanka during the past 10 days. The director of the Institute of Fundamental Studies, CANDI Disanayaka, said that there is an unstable zone in the sea where a new plate border is being created. The chairman of Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, N.P. Vijayawardena, said that they believe that it is in the primary stage.
The National Pusan Week begins from the 1st of June. Devotees are preparing to commemorate Pusan festival in historic sacred areas as well as all Buddhist temples in the island. The Pusan Committee anticipates that around 1.6 million devotees will visit Anuradhapura to worship venerated places including Atamasthana. A special passenger transport plan will be implemented jointly by the Sri Lanka Transport Board, Railways Department and the Passenger Transport Authority. Several dansals are to be organized for the benefit of the devotees. The Anuradhapura District Secretary Mahinda Senaviratne warned the people to be cautious when bathing in all tanks and reservoirs in the area due to overflowing. The Pusan commemoration in the Polonnaruwa district is to be centered on the historic Gal Vihara premises and the Somavati sacred area and Dimbulagal as well. Several religious ceremonies and meritorious acts have been organized in Buddhist temples, including the historic Situlpawwa Rajamaha Vihara. Rupawahini Pusan Zone, organized by the Sri Lanka Rupawahini Corporation, will be conducted at the historic Tantirimale Rajamaha Vihara premises. Devotees have been given an opportunity to worship sacred relics.
An inter-province luxury bus service is to be implemented in major cities in the island. The National Transport Commission said that the new bus service will be launched within a month. The Inter-provincial luxury bus service will be operated from Colombo to Polonnaruwa, Anuradhapura, Kandy and Katharagaba under the first stage. Super luxury buses worth 10.2 billion rupees will be deployed for this purpose. The chairman of the Transport Commission, ru10 said that this luxury bus service will be introduced in Jaffna, Vavuniya, Bandarawala, Trincomalee, Batticaloa and Badula towns in the near future. Foreign news is coming up next. Welcome back. Hopes of a new international initiative over Syria have suffered a setback after Russian minister ruled out any action by the UN Security Council soon. Russia categorically opposed foreign intervention in Syria as outrage grew over the massacre of 108 people in Hula last week. Turkey is expelling all Syrian diplomatic staff from Ankara following similar moves by Western states. UN observers have verified what appears to have been another multiple killing.
Hello and a very good evening. You're with me, Zinat Bongzo, bringing you the latest in the world of sports. Marthalee Gold combined team won the Under-19 All-Islands Boys Hockey Championship. Kandy combined team bagged the Girls Championship. The hockey tournament organized by the Schools Hockey Federation was held in Marthalee for 3 days. 19 school teams participated in the tournament. Marthalee combined team beat Kandy combined team in the boys finals, while Kandy beat the Colombo team in the girls finals.
Well, with sports news, we wrap up today's bulletin of Ru10 News. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good night.